We've all seen the commercials, sparkling pools, endless buffets, and happy families sailing toward a perfect sunset. The cruise ship is sold as a floating paradise where nothing can go wrong. But beyond the glamour and the 24/7 soft-serve machine lies a darker history, one the cruise lines would rather you forget. Beyond mechanical failures and storms, there are stories of cruise ship disappearance, mysterious tragedies, and even passengers who vanished at sea without explanation. These are the shocking true stories of 9 voyages that sailed straight into disaster. The dream of a cruise is the dream of a perfect floating world. It's a city on the sea, insulated from everyday problems. But history tells a very different story. For every smooth voyage, there are real-life cruise ship disappearance stories, disaster events, and even unsolved cruise ship disappearance cases that still haunt investigators. From icy Atlantic waters to pirate-infested coasts, we're counting down 9 voyages that spiraled into chaos, horror, tragedy, and in some cases, disappearance at sea. Number 9. The Holland America, Rindam. Our list begins not with a sinking, but with an invisible enemy. In 2005, the Holland America Rindam was supposed to deliver relaxation. Instead, it became a floating quarantine zone when norovirus spread like wildfire. One passenger got sick, then dozens, then hundreds. Out of 1,223 passengers, 272 fell violently ill. Close quarters, shared surfaces, and buffet dining transformed luxury into misery. While this wasn't a cruise ship disappearance case, it showed how quickly control can vanish at sea. For some passengers trapped in their cabins, it felt like being lost at sea in a different way. Isolated, anxious, and unable to escape. Number 8. The MSC Melody. On April 25, 2009, the MSC Melody was sailing peacefully in the Indian Ocean when a speedboat carrying 6 Somali pirates approached. Gunfire erupted. Passengers ducked for cover. Some even threw deck furniture at the attackers. Armed security returned fire. After 10 intense minutes, the pirates retreated. While no one disappeared, the event reminded the world how vulnerable ships can be. In other pirate incidents, people have vanished at sea without resolution, contributing to mysterious cruise ship disappearance at sea, reports that remain unsolved. Number 7. The Seaborne Spirit. In November 2005, the luxury liner Seaborne Spirit was attacked by heavily armed pirates off Somalia. This time, rocket-propelled grenades were fired. One crew member was injured when an RPG struck the vessel. The crew deployed a long-range acoustic device and performed evasive maneuvers, eventually forcing the pirates to retreat. The incident reignited fears not just of piracy, but of what could happen if attackers successfully boarded. History has shown that during violent maritime incidents, people can be lost at sea, and in some cases, missing passengers on cruise ships are never fully accounted for. Number 6. The SS Morro Castle. In 1934, the SS Morro Castle caught fire during its return trip from Havana. Flames spread rapidly. Smoke filled the hallways. Chaos erupted. Some crew members abandoned their posts. Passengers were left to fend for themselves. Many jumped into the stormy Atlantic. 137 lives were lost. In disasters like this, identifying victims becomes difficult. Over the decades, fires and sinkings have sometimes led to confusion over who vanished at sea, feeding into early real cruise ship disappearance cases, long before modern tracking systems existed. Number 5. The Costa Concordia. In January 2012, the Costa Concordia struck a reef near Isola del Giglio after Captain Francesco Schettino performed an unauthorized sail-by salute. The ship began to list dramatically. Evacuation orders were delayed. Chaos followed. 32 people died. Although this wasn't classified as a cruise ship disappearance, several passengers were initially unaccounted for during the evacuation, sparking fears of missing passengers on cruise ships trapped inside the vessel. The disaster became a global symbol of leadership failure and a reminder of how quickly a dream voyage can turn into catastrophe. Number 4. The SS Eastland. In 1915, the SS Eastland rolled onto its side while docked in the Chicago River. Over 844 people died, many trapped inside. What makes this tragedy especially haunting is how quickly everything happened. Within minutes, families were separated forever. Entire groups were presumed lost before rescue efforts even began. Though not an overnight cruise ship disappearance, it remains one of the deadliest maritime disasters in American history. Number 3. The MS Estonia. On the 28th of September 1994, the MS Estonia sank in the Baltic Sea after its bow visor failed in rough weather. 989 people were on board. Only 137 survived. 850. 2 lives were lost in less than an hour. The speed of the sinking meant many victims were never recovered. For grieving families, it felt like a massive disappearance at sea. To this day, the wreck remains sealed, fueling speculation and unresolved questions. Number 2. The RMS Lusitania. In May 1915, during World War I, the RMS Lusitania was torpedoed by German U-boat U-20 off the coast of Ireland. The ship sank in just 18 minutes. 1,201 people died. Debate still surrounds the mysterious secondary explosion. Was it munitions? Coal dust? Something else? The tragedy became one of the most infamous vanished-at-sea events of the early 20th century and played a major role in shifting American public opinion toward entering the war. Number 1. The RMS Titanic. At the top of our list is the most infamous maritime tragedy in history, the RMS Titanic. On the 14th of April, 1912, the so-called unsinkable ship struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Over 1,500 people lost their lives. While not typically categorized as a true crime cruise ship disappearance, hundreds of victims were never recovered, effectively becoming people who vanished from cruise cabins and decks into the freezing Atlantic. Stories of couples separated that night echo through history. Some couples disappeared on the cruise ship together, choosing not to part as the vessel sank. The Titanic remains the most famous peacetime passenger liner disaster in history, a symbol of ambition, overconfidence, and unimaginable loss. From fires and pirate attacks to wartime torpedoes and catastrophic sinkings, these 9 voyages represent the darkest chapters in cruise history. And while many of these were mass casualty disasters rather than traditional cruise ship disappearance cases, they remind us of something chilling. When something goes wrong at sea, answers are not always guaranteed. Even today, reports of overnight cruise ship disappearance incidents, missing passengers on cruise ships, and unsolved cruise ship disappearance investigations occasionally surface in the news. Modern ships are safer than ever. Regulations are stricter. Technology is more advanced. But the ocean remains vast, powerful, and unpredictable. And sometimes, people are simply lost at sea.